One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Today marks 50 years since the Apollo 11 moon landing, and a half a century later, the event is still one of the most iconic moments in modern American history.
3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
On this day in 1969, nearly 700 million people gathered around their TVs to watch Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin become the first humans to step foot on the moon. This week, events to commemorate the moon landing have been taking place in our nation's capital. An image of the Saturn V rocket that launched Apollo 11 into space was projected onto the Washington Monument. Neil Armstrong's spacesuit was unveiled at the National Air and Space Museum. And Friday, President Trump paid tribute to the astronauts from the historic mission at the White House. And events to remember this historical day happen not just on Capitol Hill, but across the country. Chief photographer Alex Castillo visited the Johnson Space Center in Houston to take a look at what the mission meant to the nation.
My first feeling was pride and satisfaction. They kind of went together. We had this young president that set the goal, got us all behind it. Tragically, he was assassinated, but we kept that goal in mind.
The first person on the moon, it's just too much. I can't get over it.
It's the most marvelous thing. It's a miracle.
For every American, this has to be the proudest day of our lives.
Well, I think for NASA, in a big project like that, they had a huge goal, and that was to just land a man on the moon and bring him back safely. In order to do that, they had to come together as a team. No matter what the barriers were, they had to overcome that. People from all different walks of life came together to make this successful.
We did what we did at the moon 50 years ago. We got to get our mojo back. We can learn a lot about going to Mars by going back to the moon.
I hope that we see with this Apollo anniversary and with the journey to Mars is that students are excited about, learning more and taking us to that next level, because you and I aren't going to do it. It's going to be the kids.
Now, one of the biggest questions on this anniversary, when are we going back to the moon? Apparently, there is a 5-year plan that answers that question. NASA's goal is to be back on the moon by 2024, this time putting the first woman on the moon. Definitely excited to be a part of that history. For now, though, time for a check at the weather.